probably listening to see if we say anything bad. Charge us.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an afternoon of Telstar High School basketball. Today sees our Telstar Rebels squaring off against the Tigers of Forest Hill. And now for your starting lineups. For the Tigers, senior number 5, Allie Dunning. Junior number 2, Addison Jason. Junior number 21, Janessa Moffett. Junior number 20, Morgan Petrucci. And sophomore number 22, Kelsey Rainford. And now for your hometown Rebels, starting off with sophomore number 1, Maya Bach. Sophomore number 14, Abby Kimball. Junior number 31, Tasia Lego. Junior number 4, Viv Charette. And senior number 15, Haley Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get you to rise and remove your headgear for the playing of our national anthem?
Good afternoon and welcome. Today is Saturday, December 21st, 2024. 1 o'clock game between the Forest Hills Tigers and the Telstar Rebels. And we'll pause for one moment here.
1113. 2701113.
My name's Danny Whitney, and I'm joined by Andy Whitney, Mike Pelletier, Joel Clark on the camera, and Josh Morton behind the scenes.
I think it's rigged. I think the couch is rigged.
And the couch raffle, I think for the 4th game in a row, goes to Mike's kids. You say it's rigged, but when you spend $20 a game on it, I suppose the odds are in your favor.
It's for a good cause, Danny.
So Rebels are going to start Haley Smith, Addie Kimball, Viv Charette, Taya Lego, and Maya Buck.
I'm still waiting for us to have a couch up here.
I think that would fit, actually.
I think we could make it.
Be cute with all 3 of us on that.
I got middle.
Nobody wants to tip. Kimball grabs it.
So what are you guys expecting out of this game? I know the Rebels had a rough game last night. How do you think this one's going to look?
I actually thought, considering, I like the way Telstar competed last night against Valley. Valley is a really, really good team, both girls and boys. They're disciplined. They make the right play almost every time down the court, whether it's offensively or defensively. And Telstar battled, and kept competing all game. I have no idea, since this league is so new to all of us, Andy, I have no idea. Nice passing right there. Oh, that's nice. I have no idea what Forest Hills has, but I think the Rebels will continue to try to compete and get better, and I have seen improvement since the first game of the year that we watched them. Yeah,
they just got a good look there, just didn't finish it.
Right off the bat, I'm seeing that they don't have a lot of numbers. Looks like Forest Hills coming with 9 girls tonight, this afternoon. Shot there from Maya Buck.
Maya made a couple nice baskets last night. She shoots with nice arc.
Forest Hills is starting. Number 5, Allie Dunning, Janessa Moffett, Morgan Petrucci, Kelsey Rancourt, and there's a 5th somewhere, but...
Andy, that was a nice job not traveling there, getting rid of the ball. Did you see Maya get rid of the ball there before she went all the way down the ground traveling?
I got to be honest with you, I was looking down at the paper.
Right. I'll pay attention to the game. You guys just look at your papers.
I think it's Addison Chason.
And it looks like Addison Chason is the 5th starter here for the Forest Hills Tigers from Jackman. A little bit of a bus ride this morning from them.
Beautiful country up there, though. And for the Rebels, we have starting Haley Smith, Addie Kimball, Viv Charette, Taja Wego, and Maya Buck.
Officials tonight, we don't know their names, but one of them you said was a former bodybuilder, I think.
And boxer. So we don't question any calls that he makes on the baseline.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of Sylvester Stallone look to him.
Actually does.
Yeah. Maybe we can get a close-up of him here at some point.
Big shout out to Telstar King. Excellent series. Waiting for season 3.
Looks like this is Allie Dunning at the line for the Tigers.
We're broadcasting here on Western Hills Access Television and YouTube.
Jewel Clark, my mother, is filming right beside us, and this has always been her favorite day of the year. Isn't that correct, Jewel? It is. And does anybody know why it's her favorite day of the year? It's not because she likes winter.
No.
I know why, but I won't answer because you've told me before. So
it's because the days start getting longer from here on out, so we're on the uphill side.
That's a good reason.
Can you imagine if it got darker?
Oh. It's already getting dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Looks like that's number 20, Morgan Petrucci. So the Tigers have been pressing, but I think the Rebels have done a decent job breaking it so far. I just haven't finished.
I just received a note here from Marjorie Osgood, who probably knows more about basketball than anybody in the gym. She's certainly seen a lot of games, and she just told us that Ella Pelletier, unfortunately no relation to me, the different Pelletiers, but just scored her 1,000th point for Oxford Hill, so congratulations to her.
Yeah, it's quite an accomplishment. Telstar, of course, with their 1,000-point scorer of their own last year, and Morgan Zetz.
Yeah.
And for those that didn't hear that, we do have our own 1,000-point scorer in the booth tonight, as we have every night.
Yeah, and quite honestly, there was only 2 of you, I think, on that board up until the last 10 years or so. 15 years 15, now, I guess.
But yeah.
I'm dating myself,
time.
I suppose.
Forest Hills up 4-0 here early, 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Rebels still looking to find their stride offensively. Good take there from number 21 for Forest Hills, Janessa Moffett.
Danny, I love to learn from teams that play the way that I want to play as a coach or as a player. And if I were Telstar, I would watch the Forest Hills boys and girls games repeatedly and just see the way they never leave their feet defensively. Like, they're always in position. They very seldom let any dribble drive beat them, and either the girls or the boys. Where on the contrast, we sometimes just go too easily for a ball fake, a head fake, and it just gets us out of position, and then it's hard to recover, and it makes everyone else vulnerable in your defense.
Yeah, I sent a text out last night after the game to Andy and Mark, I think, that said the Valley team reminded me of Dirigo back in the day with Gavin Kane and their squad. They always, no matter who they had, you knew what to expect, and they were going to play good defense and be quick.
And they were quick. They were extremely quick. Again, I bet there was only a handful of times that we were able to, unless it was in transition, that we were able to get by them in the half-court defense and allow them, to have to rotate.
First sub of the game here for the Rebels, number 5, Riley Cooper checking in.
I have a hard time remembering this morning, but I feel like Riley's getting more and more playing time. And you can see her confidence growing. She made at least one, maybe 2 nice shots in last game. It's fun to see the younger players figure it out. They're staying in position there.
That last free throw for the Tigers was...
Here comes Addie. Go, Addie.
Yeah, that last free throw for the Tigers was Janessa Moffitt, number 21.
Addie is one of my best friend's children. I think it's like his 16th child, maybe 15th. I'm not sure. He has quite a few. They've been all been here. So Addie's older sister Morgan was our last 1,000-point scorer, as Danny mentioned, and the youngest Kimball is over there on the sideline. He's in 5th grade, and he comes to every game. He's going to be a very good ball player.
Do you think there's any more 1,000-point scorers in that family?
I would be shocked if Avery does not.
Yeah. Good.
Which is ironic because Amos was a great soccer player, a sport where you're not allowed to use your hands, kind of the opposite of basketball.
I think Amos scored the only goal for the alumni team this past spring.
Yeah, he did, and Amos could play, and apparently I couldn't make that game, but I heard he still can play, which is nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was keeping up with the 30-year-olds. I'm not sure if he was keeping up with the high school kids, but he was doing quite well.
His nickname in high school was Flame.
Yeah. I can see why then. The Rebels got another good look there. They just haven't made the layup so far.
Yeah, some shooting woes early. Meanwhile, Forest Hills with 9 points here in the first, up 9-0. Rebels still looking to get on the board.
But a lot more competitive than Valley, for sure. They're playing a full court man. And you see an adjustment, Danny. You were not here with me doing the first game yesterday, but when you get a full court press and just straight up man, you want to clear out. You want to get the ball to your best ball handler and then get everybody out of the way, because if you don't, when you dribble to somebody, they're probably going to run and jump you and trap you. But if you just get everybody out of there and trust your ball handler, it can make life a lot easier.
Yeah, and I think in the boys' game, Valley had a lot of success breaking the Rebels press with number 12, who was just way faster than anybody else on the court.
Yes, he was.
And that was number 12,
I'm not sure if you can say that, though. That he was faster than anybody. So you might hurt someone's feelings.
I noticed that when I was watching the game from home, they didn't really seem to run a press break. They just had him handling the ball and coming up the court with it.
Against man, that's what you do. We're missing. We're good. We can be. We have work to do, but we're going to be a good defensive team. But as far as having that one player that has supreme foot speed for full court defense, we don't. We had that last year with Phillip. Phillip really, by the end of last season, he could guard anybody the entire length of the court, and he would keep them in front of him.
Yep.
And that's a good weapon to have. And Valley has a few guys that can do that defensively, that they can keep you in front full length of the court.
Tigers pushing again here. Just under 2 minutes to play in the first. Another good bucket there by number 20. Morgan Petrucci.
Are you both too young to remember the J Tigers? Did you play against J Tigers, or was it Spruce Mountain?
I played against J.
I played against both, actually. They changed, I think, my junior or senior year.
Well, these Tigers jerseys, don't they remind you? Didn't Jay have black and...
They did.
Yeah.
The old J Dome.
Yep.
That was a fun place to play. I think Spruce Mountain still plays there.
That's where they play their home games.
And did we, up until this year, we still played Spruce, right?
We did, yeah.
Did either of you ever notice when you were playing, have a hard time adjusting to that style of gymnasium, a dorm or a field house versus a traditional gym with the spacing and things like that?
I personally did not. I never liked playing in the field house here in town at Gould, but where we would play is is Jay that he mentioned, and also Mount Abram has kind of like a dome. Yeah. I kind of like playing at both of those places.
Yeah, and those sort of places are where you're going to see it at the tournament, right?
Exactly. That one may be different. I never had the actually, I played one game there, but it wasn't. It was a different type of game, but I think the distance you have from the backboard to the background, I think is what people say is an adjustment. But Riley, last year, you wouldn't think so. I think he made 8 threes in that first time ever playing at Civic Center against St. Dom's.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, we never had to because we never played any tournament games, but I know they used to go over to Gould and practice over there before tournament games sometimes to get used to that look. We'll see if the Tigers look for the last shot here. 10 seconds to play in the first. 15-0 Tigers.
I always found it a little helpful. I mean, I never played it enough to really know if it made a difference, but it definitely, when I first went out there, the first 3 or 4 or 5 shots that had taken a warm-up seemed to be a little off, and then you kind of get used to it. But
to me, what bothered me more is the sound. I can't stand the sound like in Gould. Just it's echoey and just can't hear your coaches. You can't coach.
Good look there. Nearly put it in. So after the first period, Tigers are up 15-0 over the Rebels, and what can the Rebels do here? I know, Andy, you mentioned that they were getting a lot of shots. What can we do to maybe get some of those to fall?
I think they just got to finish. I mean, they had 5 or 6 good layup opportunities that they seemed to miss. I mean, if you make even 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 of those layups, this is a much different looking game. But
I wouldn't be surprised to see Telstar on a quarter. We keep breaking it down into smaller parts of the game for our Rebels. And I wouldn't be surprised to see us be very competitive in one of these remaining 3 quarters, if not actually win one of the quarters. And I think that would be a good positive thing for them to use going forward. Forest Hills is not, they're not doing anything that, they're not controlling the game. They're making more shots, but Telstar's getting good looks. I want to get the ball to Tasia more. Tasia's a really good inside player, and she's not afraid to shoot. And I say that because there are a lot of people that they don't want to shoot or they're nervous to shoot, whether it's they don't want to think that people think they're shooting too much or they don't want to miss in front of people, whatever. Tasia will shoot, and you need to, obviously you need to shoot to score, and she's willing to shoot. Maya has a nice shot.
So, I mean, what would you consider?
Emma's on here. Emma's a good shooter. Say that again?
What would you consider a good shooting percentage in basketball? 35, 45%, somewhere in that range?
I think for the Rebels, for these girls, if they could shoot 30%, they'd be doing pretty well.
So but that to me means that you're going to fail 7 out of 10 times.
Exactly. That sounds like baseball.
Yeah. Wow.
Except unless you're Danny.
You mentioned Maya Buck and Emma McPherson. They led the way Wednesday night when the Rebels played the Rangeley Lakers. They both had good games, led them in scoring. It was a JV game, but it was a good experience for them.
They did have a really good game, and I think that confidence will help them going forward. I was just watching Tasia post up. Like, I'm serious when I say I think she is the best post-up player on either team, the boys or the girls, as far as the way she seals and gets into her defensive player and creates space and makes it easier. As a guard, nobody likes to turn the ball over. And if you're told, get it to the post, but you throw it into the post, and that post player doesn't know how to seal properly, and it turns into a turnover, you stop throwing it to the post. And I think a lot of times that's up to the post player to make sure, like if I were posting, I'm going to make sure I get the ball every time, so you keep throwing it to me.
Yeah.
Tasia, watch her post up. She does a nice job. Here comes Emma. Whenever you get one player behind you, you have advantage. There we go. Good job, Viv. Get in.
Rebels still looking for that elusive first point here. 6 minutes to play in the second quarter.
That was something that I remember being taught early on, is if you beat your man as the guard, you know that you've now got numbers because your man's, or in this case, girl, is behind you. So I was always kind of encouraged, take it to the hole and try to take advantage of the numbers.
To add on what you're saying, Andy, is if you know one's behind you, so now it's 5 against 4, and now if you're going to force another player to stop you. So now it's really, now you have it's 5 against 3 because you've pulled him off another player. So you have numbers. You should not pull it back.
So Coach Newell's keeping the Rebels in the man-to-man D, it looks like. Forest Hills slowing it down here a little bit.
a nice pass.
Yeah.
Good rebound by KD.
Might have got away with a half step there.
McPherson. Blocked. Good block there by number 2 for the Tigers. First bucket of the game. Number 12.
Katie Campbell.
Junior. First bucket for the Rebels. We'll see if they can build some momentum off of that.
So 2-0, second quarter, Rebels.
Yeah. Keep it up. I mean, like we talked about, I didn't feel like they got drastically outplayed that first quarter.
They just got drastically outshot. But
right.
The play was not. They're letting a lot go.
See some of the boys players starting to.
Oh, that's a nice pass.
Yep.
Starting to filter in here. The boys play right after this at 2:30. Forest Hills Tigers.
Either of you see who scored that?
20 scored.
Thank you.
That's number 20 for the Forest Hill Tigers. Morgan Petrucci. Lego underneath. Probably got away with a 3-second there, but ends up being Tiger ball anyways. Number 15 for the Rebels checking in. Haley Smith. Lego's going to get a breather here.
Because I thought she may have thrown that off of the Tigers, but apparently I thought wrong.
Well, I would encourage you to go tell the official.
Yep.
Well, I won't be mentioning the Sylvester Stallone lookalike. I won't be approaching him with that information. So.
And who's this?
I zeroed in on him. I'll do it again.
Rebels are going to maintain possession here. Addie Kimball checking back in for the Rebels.
Is that Bella?
That
Yes.
is number 2, Bella Patel. Kimball right off the bench, right into a shot.
So there may be some contact here, but Forest Hills is doing a good job staying totally straight, which makes the officials less apt to call that foul.
19-2, Forest Hills in the lead. Halfway through the second quarter here. Western Hills Access Television, YouTube.
I think that was a good example, Michael, what you were talking about. She stayed straight up. The offensive player went up underneath her. But
Come on, Addie, left-handed.
nice.
Addie.
Kimball with a bucket. Rebels' second basket of the game here.
I noticed her younger brother doesn't even clap for her. Not even a single acknowledgement, and he was watching.
Well, you know, younger siblings get dragged to a lot of these events when the older siblings don't have to do that. So
Danny,
the fact that he's here, let's give him credit for that.
Are you bitter, Danny? Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
I'm just speaking facts.
I guess I remember things a little differently.
That is McPherson.
See, in my defense, when you were in high school, I was in Bangor, so it was 150 or so miles, and they didn't broadcast on YouTube like we do now, so it wasn't really an option.
That's true. We had the cable network on occasion, but wasn't as thorough as it is now.
Both of you can pipe down. We had VHS.
Good D there by number 15.
So the way Forest Hills, and we have to figure this out too, on both the boys and girls side, they spread the floor. Their spacing is really good, and when you have spacing like that, you make the Rebels or the defender have to guard so much more floor space. See, look at it way up top here. Now they're bunched a little bit. Now they're not doing what they were doing earlier, but that spacing creates passing lanes, driving lanes. Good things happen. Go, Emma.
McPherson on the break here.
Push it. Oh.
Get away with a step there. Kimball with this loose ball.
I think Kimball kind of slowed up there. I personally would have liked to have seen her keep going to the block on that.
Yeah, is that if you don't have the ball, if you're the running man on a fast break like that, is that your target? Get to that block?
Absolutely. weak side. You don't want to block the penetrator. So you want to create space. So if there's defenders on you and they go to help, you have a nice little passing angle. That's the second bucket for Katie.
Yeah, that's a nice looking shot there by 21.
Was that a 3?
It was. That was Janessa Moffitt for the Tigers. I think she's probably their leading scorer.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I missed that. Who'd we have there?
Addie, nice little jumper. She looked a little bit like Morgan on that play. I think Morgan is, in fact, I know she is. I think Morgan's in Puerto Rico playing basketball for USM. Is supposed to be home like on the 23rd. Hopefully there are no flight delays. Time for the holidays.
Number 1 for the Rebels checking in, Maya Buck. Give McPherson a blow here.
Katie's having I say Caddy because her name is spelled Cady, and I think it's Sean Cadigan, but Katie is having a nice little run this quarter.
Yeah, she's up to, well, I think 6 points.
Good save there.
I think it's 4 and 4, but I might be wrong. I think Addie has.
Okay.
I think
yes.
Addie has 4 and Katie has.
You're right, Mike. It is 4 and 4.
And the quarter score is Forest Hills 9, Telstar 8.
Chance to flip the script on that here on this possession.
If Telstar would score a basket right here, they'd make me look really smart.
That's a nice looking.
Oh, come on, get in.
Good job making some adjustments by Coach Newell there.
That's our ball.
Get the Rebels going. 0 to 8 points here in the second period.
That's a great call.
Now with 39 seconds, are you gonna? Oh,
That's supposed to be white ball.
that's the wrong team.
That's a bad call. I don't care if you can fight.
Coach Newell is pointing that out right now.
Well, I was gonna ask you, Mike, if you were Telstar with 39 seconds, would you try to take the last shot or just play your offense?
Andy, I mentioned this yesterday, I think, to Danny. I'm a huge believer in time and score, especially momentum, controlling a game. That's our ball there. I think it depends on skill level, though.
Yeah.
38 seconds is a long time. If you're struggling with ball handling,
sure,
it may be too long. But in general, like now, there's no question. I want one shot. We're going to either lose this quarter by 1 or we're going to win this quarter by 1.
Kimball.
Come on, Eddie. Oh.
Nice shot there by
Shot
Kimball.
that a little early. So it gives them a chance. Now, I know this isn't a close game, but if it were, that could matter. Much better quarter.
All right, so at the half, we have Forest Hill Tigers up 24 to 8 over the Telstar Rebels. And we'll be back in a few minutes with the second half. We're Western Hills Access Television, YouTube, Danny Whitney, Michael Pelletier, Andy Whitney, Jewel Clark, and Josh Morton. We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, welcome back for the second half of the Forest Hill Tigers versus the Telstar Rebels. We've lost to Jewel Clark. Mike's gonna get her as she runs over here. A little late, she got talking in the stands. All right, we start the second half here. Andy, what do you think the Rebels can do here? We talked about the shooting woes, but what do they need to do to get back on track? And that second quarter was 9-8. It's much better.
Yeah, I mean, they finished baskets in the second quarter. If they keep playing like that, you know, they'll be in it. Obviously, to make up the difference here, they've probably got to not make that many turnovers and maybe create some turnovers. But
and welcome back to Jewel.
Good shot. There you go.
Foot was just on the line, so it's going to be a deep 2. But that's Haley Smith with the good-looking shot there, and the Rebels in double figures here, 24-10. Forest Hill's still on top.
She's not going to get credit for it, but earlier in that sequence, offensively, Tasia set a really, really solid fundamental pick on the ball for Haley, which allowed her to dribble all the way, allowed the ball handler to dribble all the way through the basket, which created that shot ultimately.
Good board there by Smith.
Do you know the difference between a pick and a screen? Either one of you?
No, I guess not.
It's not a joke. I think I heard it from Tom Izzo, Michigan State basketball coach, legendary basketball coach. And I never knew this either, but they say a pick is on the ball and a screen is away from the ball.
Okay.
Would have been my guess, but yeah, would have been my guess just from the term pick and roll. Nice basket there by number 12 for Forest Hills, Emma Vining. So Forest Hills going with a couple different changes from their original starting lineup. The Rebels, I believe, have their starting 5 out there.
That's probably a foul. Well,
Nice shot, Biv.
Yeah, good looking shot. Forest Hills back the other way.
I think Coach Newell thought it was a foul too, based on the facial expression.
It's another good take there by number 20.
Morgan Petrucci, that's her 12th point of the night.
She's a good player.
She is a junior, so the Rebels will have to deal with her for another year.
Hopefully her face didn't hit the floor there.
Slow to get up, but looks like she'll be all right.
She's getting up.
Forest Hills is going to send a couple of subs in, and the Rebels are going to give probably let's see. Yeah, number 12 for the Rebels is going to check in, Katie Campbell, and she's going to give Haley Smith a blow. Is she the one? I think she's the one that just went down.
Yes, she is.
But she's having a pretty good game so far, so hopefully the Rebels can get her back in.
And that's Kelsey Rancourt and Melinda Worcester checking in for Forest Hill.
Go by her. Go by her.
Yes.
Good job, Katie. Good job, Katie. Now reward her by going in.
Yeah, and we often call out when we see travels and stuff, so I'd like to call out a nice pivot on that play by Katie to avoid the travel and then create that drive opportunity.
Oh, numbers, girls.
Tasia on the break.
Nice job, Tasia.
Nice walk. Get in.
That's gonna go. Oh.
And one of our favorite fans, Mark Thurlow, Coach Thurlow, has entered the building.
That was Melinda Worcester with 2 points for Forest Hills.
Now we've had the last couple of games, we've been able to track the boys' Coach Kimball down to have him up for an interview. We'll still try to do that, but we haven't spotted him yet. But we'll try to do that to have a quick preview for the boys' game at some point this half.
I've talked to him probably 3, maybe 4 times today. I know he's here because he came in a couple hours early to wash the courts.
That was nice.
Yeah, he could be listening right now, and that could be why he's avoiding. So
His contract clearly states 3 minutes in the third quarter.
So we'll see if we can work on getting him up here. In the meantime, Forest Hills up 32-10 over the Rebels.
On with that 2 points for Forest Hills.
Halfway through the third.
I don't have a problem with it because it's not my nature, but I am a little surprised Forest Hills is still playing full court man with a 32-10 lead. Again, it doesn't bother me. We need to get better dealing with it, but That's going to be a trip. And I think she did hit her chin. Looked a lot like the play with Haley.
Yeah, I think their legs got a little tangled up there.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but ends up probably working out in the Rebels' favor there. Might have saved a breakaway layup.
Danny, always worried about the bottom line.
Well, it makes him a good numbers guy.
It's unfortunate she lost her tooth, but it did save us a layup.
Well,
Hey, Riley, where's Coach? Where's Coach? Can you find it for me? Thank you.
I imagine he'll have the same attitude when his own daughters are playing, so. Now in the NBA, that would be, what, an open lane? They'd award free throws for that kind of foul now, wouldn't they?
clear path foul?
Yeah. But we
Yeah, I
don't
believe
have that
so.
in high school, correct?
We do not. Come on, Eddie.
Although had it not been a situation where their feet got tangled, had it been more intentional, the refs could decide to call flagrant. Is that correct?
Correct.
Has there been any foul shots?
But we just had a question about foul shots. I think.
Tigers have had 4.
Yeah.
They're 3 for 4 from the line, and Rebels have not taken any yet.
That's got to be a travel, but we'll take it. Forest Hills on the floor. See if the Rebels can do the same. They do. And we're going to get a jump ball here.
That's my favorite thing. I love seeing players go to the ground for the ball. We had 2 Rebel players on the floor with 1 Forest Hill player.
Sounds like.
And I think we're going to be rewarded for it.
Sounds like we need to start a Michael point.
I would love a Michael point.
For those that don't know, that goes back to the old Celtics announcer Tommy Heinsohn, who used to award Tommy points for hustle.
I think Walter McCarty was one of the all-time leading Tommy point winners.
Well, there was a little bit of favoritism there, but.
I love Walter.
Another Bethel staple, Jeff Goodrow, is in the house.
Coming in right before him is 1984 grad and legend, first tournament team ever to go to Augusta from Telstar, Josh Putnam.
Well, they had a few basketball players in that family.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I played with a couple of Josh's nephews.
So did I.
There's probably still some in school, too, I think. And we're going to get air for jumping over the line there.
I think his brother Joel has 8 children, all with J's. Every child has the first letter of their first name is J.
Yeah, that sounds right. Left-handed jumper there from number 5, Forest Hills, Allie Dunning. So we did send somebody to see if we could track down Coach Kimball. Oh, we have some Coach Newell upset here. I missed it, but anybody know what's going on?
I think they're upset about the call. They awarded it initially to Forest Hills, but now it's a Rebel ball.
Yeah, so it is interesting. 32-10 here, 2 minutes to play in the third, and Forest Hills continuing with that press. As you said, Mike, don't necessarily have a problem with it, but just at some point, probably time to pull it off. But we won't critique it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I know coaches always, even the winning team coach has to coach for the next game. They have to coach to be better and that kind of thing. But that is, like you said, at a certain point, there are other things you can work on.
And I know 24 in some games may not seem like a ton or insurmountable, but in other games it is. So just something you got to take a read on as a coach. But you've probably been in those situations. Tough decision as a coach.
I think, and you guys know better, but does he have any starters on the floor?
What was that?
Is there any
starters on the floor?
We can go through the list here. We have number 2 is the starter.
21 was the starter. 5 was the starter.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few.
So I can't really defend it. I was going to say, if he's doing this with his bench players to help them get the opportunity to press, then that's kind of a different deal. But again, we have to handle it. We got to be better.
Yeah, for sure. A couple more starters checking back in here for the Tigers.
I know some people have a different opinion, but when I was a player, I hated it when I saw the other team letting up. Even though part of me, you kind of get a little relief, but at the same time, I always took it as an insult. I'd rather get beat by 60 and go against their best than
I couldn't agree more.
lose by 30 and go against their second string.
Hit me
I guess,
harder.
but.
And also, I think if the Rebels were into their second string, I think that changes things too. But with the Rebels still playing their starters, that's going to be number 12 with the steal, Katie Campbell.
So far, the second quarter's been the strongest quarter for Telstar.
Cooper has a nice shot.
34-10 here. Forest Hills on top. A minute to play in the third period. And again, we're live on Western Hills Access Television and YouTube. Shout out to Jewel Clark and Brooks and Josh Morton, who are behind the scenes working for us.
I don't want to say that this is a situation, but it appears like Coach only wants to talk to us after wins, but after a tough loss, he's not coming to the podium.
Yeah, we still have another quarter, but he'll probably be getting his team ready. So,
What's his fine about if he doesn't show up for his interview?
Dealing with me.
He might. So in other words, he might actually rather pay a fine then.
Lego straight up with the D. Good board there. Gets it to her point guard.
I really like her. She does a nice job.
Oh, I think the Rebels got away with a foul there, but
I see Coach Thurl over there talking to the Forest Hills coach. Hope he's not giving away any trade secrets.
so Mike, that was something I wanted to ask you and I'd ask Coach Kimball, if we get a chance, but you obviously have some coaching experience. It's not like the pros where you've got a ton of tape to read on other teams and you've got time to sit there and review 30 games that they played. What's the scouting like as a coach, and how do you prep for each team?
So it's different depending on your skill level, at least to me. Like if I have a ton to work on, then all I'm concerned about is working on getting better. So if I'm Rebel Girls right now, I don't really care about preparing for Forest Hills. I might want to know a few things, but I just want to keep getting better individually.
Right.
Until our parts are where we can focus on the whole. But when you're where Telstar boys are, it's a different deal. And so now scouting becomes extremely important because they can compete with every single team in the league. And this day and age, we were joking about VHS and then Danny with his DVD player. They have other schools have something similar to us, so they can just get film easy and watch it on the internet. And I know that's what Coach does. He did it to Valley. Yep. He watched him play with Cassett, I believe.
Okay.
The night before the game.
So they are watching film
absolutely.
at this point.
Yeah, I got word from my nephew who works over at Mountain Valley. He's an assistant coach for the boys, and they were watching the game last night to scout Valley. I think they have a game with Valley coming up. So
Who does your nephew work for?
Yeah, he works for Clean Cut Painting. Who did a bang up job, and he was one of the ones who did a bang up job on the gymnasium.
He actually did. We need some banners now. I think I spoke to the principal, and I think over the big Christmas vacation, we're going to be putting a lot of the banners back up, along with the sponsors.
So are they getting new banners?
A lot of the old ones have been cleaned up, maybe consolidated, and then, yes.
Nice.
I see Coach Kimball.
So hopefully, maybe there's a chance those will be up for the next home game.
That is true, yes.
I believe we have quite a break after this between home games.
January 24th, I believe.
Wow, so over a month.
Wow.
34-10, Forest Hills in the lead here. 7 minutes to play in the fourth.
That's a nice looking shot.
And we've gotten word that Coach Kimball is in the building, so he will be coaching.
He might be forcibly brought up here and need to interview us.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we can get him up into the booth.
Oh. The question? He gave us a hard no.
Forest Hills number 20 to the free throw line here. Morgan Petrucci. She's in double figures. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Unofficially, she's at 12. 13.
I think Coach went back home. That's what happened. No, seriously, I think he went back home and just got here. So he cleaned the floor and went back home. He's running a little late.
we'll give him a pass, I guess, for this, but
Unofficially, those are the 14. That's the 14 points for Petrucci there. For
20.
So she's got the Rebels outscored by herself.
And she's pulling back. She is looking for teammates. She's a good player. Junior, you said?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, good look there. Number 22 with that pass.
Lexi with the rebound.
Kelsey Rancourt. McPherson with the ball.
Ooh, I think we got away with a travel.
So officials are human too. They see what's going on. They see the score. They see that we're struggling a little bit, and they tend to let some things go that aren't really affecting the outcome of the game.
Good steal there by McPherson. McPherson on the break. And what can we do to avoid that, Mike? Maybe a little more talk?
What thing you're talking about?
Where she snuck up behind her and poked the ball out.
So a rule of thumb again, it's next level, but if you dribble alternate hand in the open floor, A, you cover a lot more ground a lot faster, and B, you make it impossible for someone to dribble tip you, to time you, because they don't know where the ball's going to be.
Yeah.
And then, but also, is there some communication that can happen from her teammates?
Again, next level, but if I don't think it's up to the teammates. If I'm the person with that ball, I'm counting how many black jerseys are ahead of me, and then I realize how many are behind me. I mean, it's not like there's 9 or 10. There's 5 jerseys. So if there's 3 in front of you, you know 2 people are behind you and probably coming after you.
Right. The other thing I'd like to see the Rebels do in general is dribble a little lower to the ground. They're high up with their dribble, and that just gives the defender so much time to stick their hand in there.
There's a saying that the player who gets their hips lowest wins, whether it's defensively or offensively. So if you get your hips over, you want to get your shoulders over the ball, and you want to get your hips down. And when you're in traffic and trying to make a move, that ball shouldn't come up more than 18, 20 inches off the floor.
Yeah.
If you're in the open floor covering ground, then it's a different story. But once you get into traffic, that's what you need to do.
And those skills a lot of times are developed outside of just your regular, every other day practice, right?
No, this rec program really doesn't have time to do that either. We're just trying to get them to fall in love with it. It used to be, back in the day, that you did all that stuff on your own. But now kids are so busy, there's so much competition for their time with their cell phones and electronics and social media and all that garbage, that they don't do it on their own. So you need to make the time to do it in practice.
But is that what's going to separate the great players from the good players, is the ones who do it at home?
Absolutely.
Good looking shot there.
But the more you get them started and doing it, and if you see, everybody's built differently, but some people, once they start seeing improvement, and you can see improvement quick, like 1 or 2 practices, and you can see night and day difference with their dribbling skills. And then some of them take that and run with it once they're taught it, once they feel it and experience it. And like, oh my God, I can get to wherever I want to get on the court. Watch me go now. And then coach can have a ball and they take it home and they dribble in their basement, and then you've lit a fire, and that's how it starts.
I just want to point out number 11, Lexi Indermule, is in for the Rebels. I think this is their first minutes of the game.
It's Addison Chason with Forest Hills, and I do apologize if I'm pronouncing any names wrong.
I love the way you say Chason.
Yeah.
One of my 16 kids, one of my 5 children went to, I say something about Amos's kids, we have the same amount of kids. One of my 5 children went to Mufasa last night, and I just love saying the name Mufasa, it's fun.
Did they enjoy it?
They did.
I think that's on my list here in the near future, so.
Can you say it for me?
Mufasa. Rebels are going to take a timeout here.
Sylvester.
I think the original one came out when you were born.
It did, 1993. We're getting a close up here of Mr. Jerry. I don't know if we know his last name, but he's a good official. We're not making light of it. He's been around for a long time.
He does a lot of tournament games.
He was officiating when I was here.
I was going to say, I think he was when I was here.
Yeah.
See if we can get Jerry to give us a little flex.
Yeah. A little bit.
Jerry, just a little flex on the camera, just a little flex.
Reminds me of who was the?
He's got the boxer smile.
Yeah.
What's going on with Jeff Goodrow and John Clark?
Mark Thurlow, that's a combo. But the referee for Ed Hockley for the NFL.
Oh yes.
He's the one that started the.
Now they all do.
Yeah. He started it. Now they all lift weights.
So, did Jeff play? Anyone know if Jeff played?
No.
He didn't?
No, he was picking up motors.
Yeah.
With his bare hands.
Yeah, that would have been for me, that would have been a scary sight if I was on a basketball court with Jeff Goodrow, but.
Look up, look up, look up. Come on, Emma, finish.
Jeff loves
Coach Newell wanted the foul there. 40-10 here, Forest Hills in the lead.
Emma, Maya, that's a nice play by Emma, passing to Maya. Nice hustle, Maya.
4 minutes to play, just over 4 minutes to play in the fourth.
The Rebels have only scored 2 points this half.
Yeah, the second quarter was definitely their best quarter. They lost the quarter 9-8. They lost the first quarter 15-0, so we could do some math and figure out what the third quarter was, but I'm off the clock, so I'm not going to do that math right now.
Well, I think the third quarter was nothing because it was 8 at halftime, correct?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure their 2 have come here in the fourth. So they had the first and the third quarter, no points, and obviously the fourth isn't over yet, so they could still finish strong.
I said it before, I think maybe the game 1 or game 2, but in middle school and high school basketball, your most important skill is to be able to dribble the basketball. And when you can dribble it, it's more than shooting, because you can make layups. If you can dribble it and get to where you want to go on the court, you're going to be a handful defensively. So I'm telling you, Danny, if you want your young girls to play basketball, dribble, and I'm talking about right now, dribble, maybe Sydney's a little young, but dribble.
Yeah, we'll work on getting her to stand up before dribbling, but it'll be a close second.
Don't limit her. You don't know what she can do until you try it. Oh, speaking of which, you know how in the office, Danny, you're not going to like this, but it's my personal money. In the office, you know, we have that basketball hoop, and we give $100. Go, Biddle, go. Oh, tough kid. We give $100 if somebody makes it from my side, from my office desk across the wall, the room into the hoop. And the only one that's done this so far, with many have tried, and I give them 2 shots each, was Avery Kimball. Made his first one a year ago. And it's been a full year until today. I had to dish out another $100. I went down the bank to get it from Heather. Kyla, my daughter, on her second shot, and she closed her eyes and she said, I know I can. And then she let it fly and she banked it in. Danny, you know how hard it is.
I didn't know this. I'll have to stop by the office.
You got the same opportunity, 2 shots. The adults, though, they have to give me 10 if they don't do it. I need to recoup the bank somehow.
Foul there on the Rebels.
She went crazy.
I'm sure. $100 for a kid is a lot of money. It's a lot of money for me.
And then her kind heart, she offered to go buy everybody all to be at a sleepover. So she has her sister has 2 friends over, so there's 4 girls, and she offered to take them all to the dollar store and to Walgreens to spend their money.
Nice.
Yeah. Whereas Malia wouldn't give her a penny. That's the truth. I speak the truth, even about my own kids.
Number 2.
Oops, I'm on the wrong.
Addison Chasen on the line.
You'll be proud, though. After rethinking, I'm like, Kylie, you don't need to do that. And she goes, then I'm going to spend half on Christmas presents, and I'm going to put half in my bank account.
Smart thinking.
Did she make that second one? Anybody remember? She
no.
made the second free throw.
No. 42-12 here. Forest Hills Tigers on top of the Rebels. A little late on the rotation, but a good makeup there.
Length. We have that type of length that Addie has.
Go.
Here's number 15, Haley Smith. She's done a nice job controlling the ball today. Got away with a little bit of a step there, but we'll take it.
She's just a tough kid. I really like how tough she and Vivi are.
These are the first free throw attempts for Telstar here, I think.
2 minutes to play in the fourth.
So if you want to take another positive, I think 42 points, giving up 42 points with, there you go, with the game almost over, just over 10 a quarter is not terrible defensively.
You can see the Forest Hills boys team in the background there. The boys will play the Rebels here at 2:30, or approximately 2:30, about 15 minutes after this game ends.
So far, both teams have shot well from the line. The Rebels have only taken 2 free throws, but
out of the 10, can't do any better than that.
Right, no, you can't. And the Tigers have only missed 1. 7 makes, 1 miss from what I've got.
So to me, that says a couple things. But when you see teams that are good free throw shooting teams, it tells me that they're probably a pretty good team overall, because sometimes in a practice, the thing that it takes time to shoot free throws for every kid to put their free throws up. And so if you have a ton of things to work on, it may not be the thing that you're focusing on the most because you have other needs.
Right.
But when you're a well-balanced team and you're at top of the league, competitive, then that matters, that detail matters, so you spend more time on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Coach Newell uses a timeout here. Nice looking shot there by number 5 for Forest Hills, Allie Dunning. And so, do we know when the Rebels girls next play again? Is it after Christmas?
Yeah, definitely after Christmas. I know the boys are having a Christmas tournament, I think, the 27th or 8th or something like that, right here. 3-game, I think St. Dom's is coming, so that's going to be fun. Oxford Hills is coming. Class A competition, and I believe one more school. There's 4 schools.
So again, we won't be back on the air after the boys' game today until January 24th. But both the boys and girls play some away games in between. So
I'll actually be looking for. I like being a fan, and so I'll be going to most every one of those away boys games and sitting on the sideline and be able to cheer more than I get to up here.
44-14, a minute and a half to play here in the fourth.
I'm sure the Tigers aren't going to be in any hurry to shoot the ball at this point.
They're putting their best player back in for some reason, no?
If we can circle back to the boys for a second, so coming off a tough loss like they had last night, what is Coach Kimball's message to them in terms of, not in terms of the game plan, but in terms of the attitudes and what to bring for intensity for this game?
It's not fair because I truly know firsthand, so. The quick turnaround is a good thing. I think we mentioned that last night, Danny. Part of him, for the purposes of this game, wants them to forget about yesterday's game. But after today's game, the focus will go to yesterday's game with tape review, watching areas they need to improve, watching for Valley and what they do so well, and how they totally controlled, regardless of the score. Valley totally dictated and controlled the pace and the tempo and the way that game was played yesterday. So that focus will be Monday, or their next practice, Monday, Tuesday. But today's focus is forget about it, boys. We see where we need to be. The gap isn't that huge. We have work to do. Let's start working today.
Yeah, and we'll see how they respond.
Nice up and under. Oh, that was a nice move, Patty. Do you guys know what that move is called?
Not really. I kind of always just called it up and under, but
it's called the Kevin McHale move because he kind of made it famous. Kevin McHale is known as maybe the best post player, footwork. Him and Akeem Olajuwon, in skills. So it's when you turn one way, shot fake, and when they go up for it, you step over under and go up with the other hand. And if you watched the girls' game yesterday, I can't tell you how many Valley girls did that move.
30 seconds to play here.
McHale probably.
Put your head to...
Tasia, come on, Tasia. Oh.
McHale being somewhat of an underrated player, I think, because maybe overshadowed by Bird most of the time.
For good reason. You just mentioned, I just got done bowing when you mentioned Larry Bird. Only person in the world that I would never want to meet because I don't want to be on that same level. Like once I meet him, I want him to stay where he is as a hero. But Kevin McHale was. He's a Hall of Famer, but his footwork, and he was just so smooth. But the thing about Larry is, real quick, Kevin McHale scored in March of 1986, I believe, 56 points to be the all-time, the biggest scorer in one single season game against, for the Celtics. Yeah. And 11 days later, Larry scored 60 and said, "Don't forget who I am."
So final score here to this afternoon for the Rebels girls, 44-14 Forest Hills. And Andy has a quick rundown of some scoring. So unofficial?
The unofficial scoring for Forest Hills, Allie Dunning with 6 points, Addison Chason with 6 points, Janessa Moffett with 8 points, Emma Vining with 2 points, Morgan Petrucci with 14 points, Kelsey Rancourt with 2 points, and Melinda Worcester with 2 points. And for the Rebels, Haley Smith with 4 points, Addie Kimball with 4 points, Maya Buck with 2 points, and Caddy Campo with 4 points.
And you can see the Forest Hills boys already taking the floor here to warm up. So we will be back in 15 minutes with the Forest Hills boys versus the Telstar Rebels boys. And for Western Hills Access Television, YouTube, I'm Danny Whitney, Mike Pelletier, Andy Whitney, Jewel Clark, Josh Morton. We'll be back in about 15 minutes with the boys game.